start, can I just check the pronunciation of your name? Is it Mountain?
Mountaine.
Mountain,
Yeah.
Mountain, and sorry, who else is joining us today?
This is Vinny Vignette.
Hello, Vinny. Hello. Well, thank you both for joining me. We're jumping straight in. The system here keeps automatically starting, so we're in. We're beginning. So thank you for joining me on the Martin Talk Show to discuss your show that you're bringing to the Edinburgh Fringe, King Arthur's Body.
We
Sounds
are,
interesting.
and we've just arrived 3 hours ago in the
Wow.
country. We had very brief naps, and now we're ready to hit the streets.
So where have you come from to arrive in the UK?
We flew from North Carolina, people from our cast from Boston, Chicago, and Tennessee.
In addition to Asheville, North Carolina, which, if it wasn't famous before, it became very famous last year because of our awful hurricane. So
Yes.
when we did our most recent production of this play was done, what, a week before the hurricane? Yeah, in September. And then things changed in our beautiful town. But we're here.
You're here now. Yes. So it sounds like it's been a bit of a journey then.
Very much so. Yeah. Well, for me, it's been a journey of almost 15 years. And if I really take the larger view, it's more like 50 years because I began working on conceiving of a show when I was in my early 20s, and I'm now 75. 15 years ago, I wondered what character I might want to play if I could choose. And I chose Merlin, and I looked at the whatever plays were available, and there were not very many. I looked at the movies and the books, of course, so many books, um, and the TV series and all these different things, and there was no version that was the one I wanted to do, so I had to write my own. And then many years later, many uh, working on it for all these years, and then coming across Vinny, this would not be happening without him because he's a very high energy and brilliant co-producer and directing, in this case, directing the show. So yeah, there's a lot of history to it.
So how did you get this off the ground then? Vinny, how did you take this from being the idea into making it happen?
Yeah, well, Mountain came to me as if he was entering King Arthur's body or something like King Arthur's body, the show he was writing into the Asheville Fringe Festival, and asked me to collaborate, co-produce, direct, and we sat down and storyboarded it, and then Mountain went off and wrote it, and then we started casting, and it was just so alive for me in its queerness and taking this old story and bringing it to current times and what's needed now.
And what is that then? What is that the now needs that from the part you've got this story that's old and has been told so many times in so many different ways, but what is it that needs to be brought to the now?
Well, in my research, it seemed to me that everybody who wrote a version of this story wrote it with their own agenda and were trying to convey some kind of a message. Um, and I have so many examples of that, so I don't even think I'll give any. But as, as I began to develop, I knew that I loved the character of Merlin, and and the first version that I wrote of this, which I performed with a group of friends almost 15 years ago, covered the whole story from before the birth of Merlin, well, long before, two generations before him, and then on past, on to the final battle between Arthur and his son Mordred, who he just discovers at the end of the story. And actually, what I did in that play was I stopped it before they killed each other, and just said, but let's not even show this because there's something else that we really want to be presenting here. So what the something else is, these are particularly dark times right now. I mean, the times of King Arthur were dark, very, very dark in their own way. Of course, he didn't really exist, we don't think, but the idea of it, the legend of it, was very rocky times. And we're in that now. Climate change is just one example. To me, it's a key example of what's even more than dark times in the past, because the whole environment wasn't in question. It was just like who's going to kill off whom. But now it's all of us, and we're all in this together. Everybody on the planet, and so I wanted to include that and raise awareness and raise consciousness, and hopefully inspire people to find their way of making a difference. So the play is really wacky, silly comedy. Monty Python is certainly an influence. We just definitely go into the Grail, the Grail, the Grail, um, and lots of other references and cutenesses. And our characters are amazing. Our actors are so good and funny in their own way. But there's this underlying message about these are really important times to be taking that old story that's had so much meaning to it and applying it to now. Like, what do we do with our lives in this time so that we have future generations of life? It's
Mhm.
that big, it's that big a, it's that that's weighty a story.
And to you, why is it so important to do that through a story like this? Why is it so important that we use theatre in this way?
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Well, uh, with the idea of involving the audience, I've been working in immersive theater and getting the audience involved since I was a kid. So bringing the audience along for the journey and getting them stoked and lit up to do something, whether it's to speak in the show or shout, or really in this show to take this message on and take action in our own lives in the way that we um, walk through life, the way we treat each other, the way we treat the earth that we live on. Yeah, getting the audience to be moved and to be enthusiastic about caring.
You, at the beginning of this conversation, you touched on a little bit about the energy that Vinny's brought to the show, and I wonder if that energy can be delivered to the audience in some way.
Very much so. And really, each of our actors, in their own way, does that. Um, I mean, our our Lancelot. Okay, our Lancelot goes by the name Parfait, um, and he's a friend of ours. And we auditioned a number of people to play this role. Um, and I had written a little speech for Lancelot because he's confused. He's attracted to Guinevere in so many versions of the story, close friends with Arthur, looking at it from a queer lens. What's that attraction about? And he's a knight. He has a job to do. He has vows that he's taken. He's very confused. And Parfait, when he delivered this short speech for his audition, I was like, whoa, all right, I've got to rewrite his entire part in iambic pentameter because this guy can do it. This guy can take the part of Lancelot and incorporate elements of Hamlet and just wow the audience with his theatrical skills and put across the confusion about being torn by different factors. I mean, we're I'm torn by, okay, I want to make a living in life. I have to make money. I have to make compromises involved in that. I want to make art. I want to have a love life. There are all these things I want to do, and also I want to take a stand in activism. I want to be able to make a difference in the world. So
Mhm.
I just when in casting him, I was just thrilled about adding this whole nother level of theatrical skill to be able to put the message across even stronger.
Well, it does to me sound like you're doing that, that you're doing the things that you want to do within arriving at Edinburgh, within doing this. this production that you've worked so long on. It sounds to me like this is a accumulation of all the things that you want to achieve.
Yes, and I think I could speak for every one of us that the that as things began to come together, like, oh, we're really going to Edinburgh. I mean, we did a show in September, as I said, right before our hurricane, and then at the end of the performances, Jacob, who plays King Arthur, said, "Well, where are we going next? Are we going to another Fringe festival?" And I heard myself say, I heard it come out of my mouth. If we were going to, well, maybe we would have to go to Edinburgh because that's the mother of them all. And then within about 6 weeks, things just came together like that, as if it was meant to be. And here,
And here you are. And how does that feel to be in this moment on the day of arrival?
Woo! There's so much excitement. We have our flyers, we have our posters.
Love it.
he's all over the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got badges and T-shirts and there's I mean, we literally have come just to our lodging. So soon we will walk. We will
We
go
haven't
on a
even,
walk.
yeah, we're going to go out to dinner and begin to take in. I've been here 3 times. I've been to Edinburgh Fringe 3 times. And the second and third time, the second time I went out in the streets and busked as Merlin, and just stopped people on the street and asked if they had any questions for the wizard. And that was fun. And,
Hmm.
and I just asked myself, I wonder if I'm ever going to bring a show here. So we're going to head out into the streets and just begin to get into the atmosphere of it all.
I wonder with Merlin and Edinburgh. The last time I visited Edinburgh, I had a strong sense that the place was full of magic. I wonder if you two believe in that as well.
I believe in magic.
Check.
This land for sure. Eyes open, ready to see it everywhere.
I think that's one of the keys, isn't it? I think that's one of the keys is to have your eyes open, to be ready to receive the magic.
Yes, that's absolutely true. I'm hoping that we're all rested enough tomorrow or the next day to go up to Arthur's Seat, and that
Yes.
the weather makes it possible, and continue another aspect of the ritual that we've already begun to do as a group, of calling in 2 major pieces of magic. One is that we all stay healthy through this time so we can do our jobs. Because I know people sometimes burn out, and I'm asking all the really powerful, spirit-filled people in my life to help us with these 2 prayers. One is we stay healthy. The other is calling the people into the seats who need to see this show. I mean, there are a whole lot of shows I want to see. It's not like we're the only thing in town by far. Most us, obviously, and it's clear to me. There's so much brilliance going on at the festival, but of course, like, everyone feels that they have something unique, and that's why they're doing it, I think. And I really feel that we have something unique, and there are people who need to come and see it. There are people I want to call them in. I want to
Pull
call
them in.
you in if you're one of those people
Oh,
who are
I'm
watching right now. Come see our
yes.
show. I wear a mop as hair and a mop as a long beard that I had to give myself a beard cut because it was dragging on the floor. Uh, it's a really fun show, but it's also got this depth to it that's hard to describe.
It's also sexy.
Oh, whoa.
Well, let's touch on the sex. Tell me about the sexy. I need to
Uh-oh.
know more about this.
Yeah.
We are an 18 plus show, and
Okay.
it is at 10 p.m.
Hmm.
And there's teaching. There's utilizing our erotic energy that we
Okay.
all have and can conjure up, and there's a training in the show of how to use your erotic energy to
To make
send
to make a difference.
to make a difference.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for saying that, Vinny, because
Please.
yeah, there really, it's not a hidden message in the show. It's quite clear, and it'll be fun to watch. but I think it will also, for the right people, if you happen to be one of those, whoever's watching, for the right people, it's going to be like, whoa, life can be like that, and that can be a form of activism to raise erotic energy and dedicate it for an intention, and that's to me that's real magic. And some people call it sex magic.
Well, I need to see this to find out more. Where do I find you? Where are you on?
We are at the Greenside Riddles Court venue. It's at the top of the Royal Mile. 10 p.m. It's a full run. So it's the 1st through the 23rd, but not the 6th, 10th, or 17th.
Yeah.
You need those days off, don't you, to rest?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Our
Important.
producer wanted to have us have 2 days off. I said, please, give me 3. So we got 3. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to it so much. I look forward to meeting you guys in Edinburgh when I'm there. And maybe we'll continue this conversation on a little bit when we're there and see how you're getting on midway through the run.
That would be really fun. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Martin, and I hope that the right people get to watch it, and there are lots of them.
They will, I'm sure. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining today. And if anyone has been watching or listening, thank you for joining us for this conversation.
Indeed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.